It's Shohei mania all over again this season. This tweet from Fabian Ardaya earlier today. Roki Sasaki draws a crowd. I would say so. His first time speaking to the media at Camelback Ranch today. Here's what Roki had to say after throwing his first bullpen.
Well, Roki, first threw a bullpen today, had Austin Barnes catching. Just how would you say today went for you?
今日は初めてのブルペン投げて、バーンズ星に、キャッチングしてもらって、今日の全体の感想を聞かせてください。
状態はそこまで良くなかったんですけど、まず怪我なくしにブルペンを終えれてよかったです。
It didn't necessarily feel great today, but I think just being able to get through the first bullpen without any injuries was a good thing.
Dave Roberts shared that he's hopeful that you'll be pitching in the Tokyo series. Just what does that mean to you personally to potentially have that opportunity there?
Having this opportunity to open the season in Japan with a major league team is really special, so I just want to make sure that I'm prepared to be ready for that.
How much of a help has it been to have Shohei and Yamamoto here to sort of help bounce ideas off of and sort of help make it more comfortable for you here at the start?
It being my first day today, obviously there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know, so being able to talk to them beforehand just to check how things would go, and then sort of being able to check with them as things go along was really helpful.
You said you didn't necessarily feel great today. Was that just nerves or mechanics, or what did you think it was today?
Yeah, there were obviously some nerves, and then it was just a little bit colder than I was expecting today, and then some mechanical things where my body wasn't maybe moving the way that I was expecting it to.
Joe Wolf, during your free agency, said you don't think of yourself as a finished product yet. What are the things you need to do to get closer to that, and what is the focus this spring for you?
Until I actually throw in the majors, it's difficult to know like how I will do and what's needed to succeed in the major leagues. And so right now I'm just prepared on focusing on the things that I can improve on, the skills that I need to work on. And then once I'm able to actually pitch in games, I think I'll find out more.
Where does your slider kind of fit into that? And have the Dodgers given you kind of any insight or anything like that they would like to see you try to do this spring or work on that?
Yeah, I haven't really been told anything specific by the organization yet. My fastball and splitter are sort of the basis of my arsenal, and they weren't necessarily at their best last year, so I want to focus on just getting those back to their best and then mixing the slider, and that will expand my repertoire as I go.
What's your experience been like working with Dodgers staff in the short time that you've been here?
Everyone's been really kind, and there's a lot of excellent staff here, and so I just want to sort of to take what I can from them to sort of borrow their advice and their strength.
What would it mean for you personally to pitch one of the two games in Tokyo for the Dodgers?
Yeah, obviously the opportunity to open a major league season in Japan itself is rare, like I said earlier, and so being able to do that as a rookie is even more special. And so right now I'm just focused on preparing for that.
All right, so in case you didn't know this, in 2022, when Roki Sasaki was 20 years old, he threw a perfect game that April. It was the first perfect game in Japan in 28 years. And then 7 days later, he had another perfect game through 8 innings. His manager took him out of the game because he said he wanted to protect his health. And that's the level of talent, Jerry, the Dodgers have here in Roki Sasaki. But what kind of expectations do you have in year one in the big leagues?
I think it needs to be, take a step back a little bit. Listen, we know he's got incredible talent, and the makeup is off the charts. Now, remember Yamamoto last year? He was a finished product. I know he's 25 years of age, but he was so accomplished. When their equivalent Cy Young's over there, he knew exactly what he was doing on the mound. Now, this young man has all the talents in the world. Think of it as Luka, right? Luka's 25. He has not yet reached his prime, but he's still been great, just like Sasaki. He's still been great. But now we're getting him about to enter his prime. So you got to remember, he's still a rookie, okay, but accomplished over there in Japan. So I think just take a step back. Let's see how he develops the first couple months. But I'm telling you, once he gets used to this, the new baseball, acclimated to the big leagues, I think he's really going to take off because our coaching staff is second to none, especially with this talent.
I know Andrew Friedman believes that Sasaki can be one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball in the next 2 or 3 years. I know Sasaki's goal is to be a Cy Young winner during that period of time. He seems to have all the physical skills. He's more physically imposing than Yamamoto is. And when you hear Ohtani and Yamamoto rave about a 23-year-old that hasn't accomplished as much as they ever did in Japan, that speaks volumes.
Here's another thing, too. Yamamoto can spot that fastball all the time, and he's got 3+ pitches. Obviously, the fastball at 95 to 98 miles an hour, really good breaking ball, that devastating split. Roki's best pitch right now is that split finger. Fastball, if he's pinpointing, he is virtually unhittable, but sometimes it could be erratic. That third pitch, that breaking ball, he has not mastered that. He needs to master it. It could happen this month. It could happen 2 months from now. It could happen next year. But once he masters that third pitch, wow, he's not going to be fun to hit.
He seems to be a guy that is like your secret weapon in October. It feels like it's the play for October if his innings are going to be limited, and the experience he gets, whatever that is, in preparation to be a weapon in October is going to be huge.
But here's the thing. I think his learning curve is so much shorter having Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto there, helping him with a variety of pitchers, and then watching big leaguers every single day to go along with our coaching staff. This kid's going to be a superstar, no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, only threw 110 innings last year, and I think the Dodgers would probably be happy if he threw 110 innings this year and was healthy for that month of October. Now, Roki Sasaki will have plenty of people to help him make that adjustment and the transition to the majors, not just his fellow pitchers on the staff, but the Dodgers veteran catchers as well, both of whom have caught the final out of a World Series. And one of those guys, Austin Barnes, talked about Roki after he caught his first bullpen today.
Yeah, it was good. First pin, obviously. You know, probably a little nervous for him, I would assume. And but his fastball is a big fastball. Had a lot of carry, a lot of ride to it. And yeah, the split finger is different. I haven't really seen a pitch like that before. It's different than like Yamamoto. It's good. It's obviously it's hard to catch sometimes. It's moving all over the place. But yeah, I think he's just getting his feet wet. First pin of the thing, you know. He's young. He'll have a lot of time to get ready for the season, and excited to see what he's gonna do.
Does that fastball remind you of anyone else that you caught?
No, I mean he's got a real smooth delivery. Obviously, a real big guy. The ball jumps at you though. You know, it has that thing that kind of just like explodes up and little arm side stuff, and it's a big fastball. And you know, pair that with his split. I think they play good off each other, and it'll be fun to see you know his full slate of stuff. And I think he was, like I said, just getting his feet wet with the first man.
Gosh, when you have a young pitcher, especially a rookie who's got so much hype, Jerry, imagine it's got to be really beneficial for him to have these veteran catchers like the Dodgers do, because both Will Smith and Austin Barnes, they've got the experience and they have the knowledge to help him so much.
It is huge. Obviously, it's going to help Sasaki so much. And just that clip right there, listening to Austin Barnes has seen just about everything in the big leagues. As a hitter, it's certainly as a catcher. For him to say, wow, that split finger is nasty, it's different. It's different than Yamamoto. Yamamoto's split is absolutely nasty. For Barnesy to say, he didn't say it, but I saw it in his expression, that's the best splitter he's ever seen. So, that's a great thing. But what he can do, help him with his delivery, making sure it's consistent. He can repeat those mechanics, but also during games can be able to set up hitters along with Will Smith. That's a luxury these veteran catchers bring to the staff, is being able to set up hitters throughout the course of a game.
The reason why he said he's never seen a pitch like the split fingered from Sasaki, it's because it's not a pitch that is used a lot in Major League Baseball. The Dodgers are one of the more unique teams where they have 4 pitchers that actually use it as part of their repertoire. Talking about veteran Kirby Yates, Tony Gonsolin has a splitter, Yamamoto, and now Sasaki. That used to be a pitch back in the 1980s that former Dodger pitcher and former Giants manager Roger Craig really taught. And that used to be a in vogue pitch. Similar to how you hear about this sweeper slider pitch. The split-fingered fastball used to be a more common pitch hitters saw. You just don't see it, which makes it even more devastating.
It's amazing. As I got older throughout the big leagues, when I first 4 or 5 years, I saw the split a lot. Chuck Finley from the left side, nasty split. Roger Clemens, Curt Schilling. Curt Schilling threw more of a forkball. Maybe that's what Sasaki has. That forkball is more nasty, has more of a depth to it. But as I got in my career, I'd be like, why guys aren't throwing forkballs or splitters anymore?
You said the OG Japanese pitcher was Hideo Nomo, gave you problems.
Well, why you got
a tornado?
0 for 9 career lifetime against Hideo Nomo with 19 strikeouts. He was a nightmare for me.
All right, well, more from Roki Sasaki saying thanks to another veteran today. A special gift from Roki to Miggy for that number 11. A couple bottles of sake for Miguel Rojas, giving up that number 11 to Roki when he signed with the Dodgers. DV, I know you don't like to go out to Arizona to watch guys play catch, but you had to have a little bit of FOMO today because your guy, Blake Snell, in a Dodger uniform, his very first bullpen in Arizona. Even Kersh was there to watch Snellzilla's first bullpen.
And I know that meant a lot to Snell to have Kershaw there watching him because he admires everything that Kershaw's done and actually told Andrew Friedman during their courting meeting that I want my locker next to Kershaw's if I sign with you guys. And where are the cameras for Snell? That's where all the cameras should have been. His first bullpen session. Sportsnet LA knew where to go to see Snellzilla throw number 7. And yeah, I mean, he's excited. He's been there for 2 weeks. He's learning how to adjust in his 30s to get more serious to prepare for a season.
Again, I had never met Blake Snell up until we had Fan Fest, and he, out of everyone that day, really impressed me. Listen, I know he's a 2-time Cy Young Award winner. I know he wants to win. Everybody wants to win. But you can see in his eyes, he is determined to not only be a champion, but he said it, John. He told us, I want to be a Hall of Famer. And that's why he said, listen, I want my locker next to Clayton Kershaw. I want to make sure I absorb and listen to his greatness and also see how that applies to me. Get with our front office, making sure how I could tweak a certain pitch because I expect to be better and better and not just be great for a couple years. Be great and lead this staff for several years. So I love the makeup of Blake Snell. And now I get it. I get why you have such a man crush on Blake Snell.
I mean, he's a really good pitcher, and his baseball IQ, you're going to find out, is greater than what people perceive it to be. There was one time where we were watching Mookie Betts and some of the other star Dodger players taking early batting practice off of a pitcher. And he knew each hitter's weakness. He knew how to set him up. He was thinking the game even during a live batting practice session. And you saw that clip right there where he even knew his body movements. That's where, you know, I know he's new to the Dodgers, but this guy's been in the league for a long time now. He's not a rookie. Right. He knows himself really well, and he can impart knowledge to young guys like Bobby Miller, too.
I love that part. He's going to be mentoring Bobby Miller.
And you also hope he teaches Kersh the cambio because Blake Snell has a great cambio.
Please do.
From one Blake to another, Blake Trinan re-signed with the Dodgers during the offseason after a heroic month of October, helping the Dodgers capture that World Series title. Jerry, Trinan also throwing that first pen today. We know this guy, World Series hero forever here in Los Angeles.
So happy that he is back. This guy's got a heart of a lion, is not afraid of any situation. And you know what? He will pitch in any situation. You want him to close, he'll do that. Come in the 5th inning to get key outs, he'll do that. All this guy cares about is winning and having a chance to win another World Series. Good to have him back in the mix.
It's amazing to see a guy like Blake Trinan in spring training, clean shaven. He looks so fresh right there compared to when we last saw him in the World Series where he just expended everything. So that's the one thing that stood out to me seeing Blake Trinan
kind of like Kersh. Kersh always comes clean shaven, then he lets everything go through.
Yeah, exactly. Trinan, same way.
All right, still more to come here on Sportsnet LA. One of the big stories of the day in Arizona, Shohei's return to the mound, but there's also news about Shohei the hitter as he continues to come back from shoulder surgery. More from the big show coming up. Plus Clayton Kershaw, Kike Hernandez finally got that parade last fall, and boy, did they live it up. Both guys back here to run it back in 2025. We'll hear from Kike straight ahead.
Shohei Ohtani has played in more games than any active player without getting to the postseason. Ohtani smokes this ball, and it's a screamer of a double to start this ball game. There they go, throw to third, the 50th for Ohtani. That's a base hit to right field. Ohtani's 2 for 2. How about 51? Slashes his third hit of the game into the left center field gap. Sends one in the air, deep right field. He's in a world of his own. He's one shy of the first 50-50 campaign in baseball history. Sends one in the air, the other way, back it goes, gone! Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club. Oh my gosh! Shohei Ohtani, the greatest day in baseball history!
Arguably the greatest day in baseball history from baseball's only three-time unanimous MVP. Speaking for the first time from spring training camp as a World Series champion, here's Shohei Ohtani today at Camelback Ranch.
How were you able to maintain your strength after the shoulder surgery? Do you feel just as strong as you normally would?
強さっていうのはどこら辺ですかね。完全にその違和感がないっていう状態ではないですけど、もう少しすればそれがまた良くなってきて、しばらくはこう違和感が残るんじゃないかなとは思いますけど、今の現状それでもバットは結構触れてるので、そこの戦いかなと思います。
I do feel like there's some discomfort that I have to still overcome. It's not really, debilitating, but I do feel like I feel pretty good almost getting there to where I want it to be.
Is that discomfort more like tightness, or like how is it like how do you feel like your shoulder feels compared to like where it is normally before the injury?
It's the limited range of motion. I've gone through it with the elbow before, and with the shoulder it's a little bit more complicated. So I do believe that's the part that I have to be patient.
Dave was saying that when you do go back to two-way duties full-time, like maybe he doesn't expect you to steal as much or maybe get more off days as a DH. Like, are there other things you're going to have to do once you do start pitching again to just balance the workload?
I want to let the team dictate that. I do want to play as much as possible, as many games as possible. But if the team feels like I should get a break, I'll follow that.
You have to look at, just in regard to hitting as the spring training as a progression as well, everything from kind of getting more rotation to taking part in Cactus League games. Like, do you feel like you are in the, right step when it comes to facing live pitching just yet?
On the hitting side of things, I do feel like everything is on time and on schedule. Today, hitting outside was part of the plan as well. So I do feel confident that I'll be able to make it when the team starts, when the season opens. Yeah.
We saw Roki have his first bullpen. Were you able to kind of get some eyes on him? What are you seeing from him? And what has it been like having him now here in camp as well?
I do feel like he's enjoying himself. I'm sure this new environment, being a little dry, I'm sure that it's, you're not going to be able to pitch the way you want to exactly, but I do believe that he's enjoying and he's going to make those adjustments.
With Sasaki, what can we realistically expect from him this season?
I do feel confident that as long as he's healthy, that he'll be able to perform well. Again, the important thing is for him to be acclimating to the environment that he's in.
As a World Series champion, it feels like there's even more media following you, even more fans. Does that ever get tiring?
I really appreciated the celebration, was able to soak in all the accomplishments as a team. But, I think we have to turn the page and prepare, for the 2025 season, and so that we can celebrate again.
Well, Shohei is working back from two injuries, really. We talked earlier about him coming back from the elbow surgery, Jerry. He also had the surgery on his non-throwing shoulder right after the World Series Game 2 slide. We saw him taking batting practice today, finally started to let it go, although he says the shoulder still isn't 100%. What do you think the road to recovery looks like for him from a hitting standpoint?
Well, I think he's going to make the adjustments, and his shoulder will be just fine. Now, I had a similar surgery now. That was 25 years ago. I had the exact same surgery. Obviously, medicine and recovery time and knowledge of that shoulder is a lot better these days. I had it during the season, though, so I rushed back, and I don't think my shoulder really was fine for that season, really the next season. But Shohei Ohtani, more importantly, had his shoulder surgery right after the season. So he had a lengthy period of time to really rehab and get that shoulder strong. Now we can kind of slow play him a little bit and be ready to go for the regular season. He's a strong young man. I think he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, and he's Shohei Ohtani, the best baseball player on the planet, and really strong. And the one thing players have said that have had that similar surgery, he's going to be able to come back quicker because it's not his lead front shoulder, it's his back shoulder. Guys like Matt Kemp, guys like Cody Bellinger, that was their front shoulder. And also, I know he's the best player, I know he's the unicorn, but you just hope that he's not compensating for it in any way, where at the beginning of the season, Jerry, maybe he starts to get into some bad habits to compensate.
That is an incredible point, because this was my lead shoulder, and that you really need to stay inside the ball. This provides the power. I think it's going to be a lot beneficial for him not being that lead shoulder. That is important. Really good point.
Yeah, he said a little bit of discomfort in the shoulder, and it's mostly a range of motion issue, but he's still, according to some of the people who saw him today, he was still hitting bombs during batting practice. Coming up, as if there was any doubt, Kike Hernandez is back in Dodger Blue. We will hear from LA's version of Mr. October on why this was the only place to be.
今回のキャンプでは多くの注目すべきポイントがあった。その中でも特に印象的だったのは翔平・大谷の順調な復帰とルーキー佐々木朗までのメジャー挑戦だった。大谷選手は肩のリハビリを続けながらもバッティング練習を重ね確実にシーズンに向けた準備を整えている。まだ完全に違和感がなくなったわけではないが本人も計画通りと語っており、開幕に向けて着実に前進している様子だ。メジャーリーグ屈指のスラッガーとして、そして MVP を何度も受賞したスーパースターとして、彼の活躍がドジャースの攻撃力をさらに強力なものにすることは間違いない。彼が完全復活すれば、ドジャースの戦は他球団にとって大きな脅威となるだろう。そしてもう一人の大きな話題は佐々木朗までのメジャー初ブルペンだった。佐々木投手は初めてのブルペン投球ということもあり少し緊張していたようだが、それでも彼の持ち味である160キロを超えるフォーシームと魔球とも言われるスプリットは健在だった。大谷選手や山本由伸投手とともに日本の才能がドジャースでどのように花開くのか大きな期待が寄せられている。彼自身もまずは環境に慣れることが大事と語っていたが MLB の打者たちにどれほど通用するのか開幕に向けた性が非常に楽しみだ。彼のピッチングスタイルは日本とは異なるアプローチを求められるかもしれないが周囲には経験豊富なコーチ陣、そして頼れるチームメイトたちがいる。この環境でどこまで成長できるのか、ファンの期待は膨らむばかりだ。また、ドジャースの強さを支えるのは、単なる個々の才能だけではない。このチームの最大の武器は組織力だ。投手陣の層の厚さはもちろんのこと、オースティン・バーンズやウィル・スミスといった経験豊富な捕手陣が、若手投手の成長をしっかりとサポートしている。特にバーンズはこれまで多くのエース級投手とバッテリーを組んできた経験を持ち、配球やリードの面でも頼りになる存在だ。佐々木投手の投球についても、彼のスプリットは今まで見たことがないほど独特で、とにかくキャッチするのが難しいとコメントしており、それほど彼の球質が特別であることを示している。このような環境の中で佐々木投手がどのように成長していくのか、今後のブルペン投球やオープン戦での登板が非常に楽しみだ。一方でチーム全体の士気も非常に高い。クレイトン・カーショー、キケ・ヘルナンデス、ブレイク・スネルなど実績10分の選手たちが次々と合流し、シーズンに向けた準備を進めている。カーショーはすでに MLB のレジェンド的存在だが、今シーズンもチームの精神的支柱として大きな役割を果たすことになるだろう。また、スネルはクレイトン・カーショーの隣のロッカーがいいと語るほど、彼の経験から学ぼうとしており、その意識の高さがうかがえる。2度の最無償ジュニアを誇る彼の加入は、間違いなくドジャースのローテーションをより強固なものにするはずだ。そして、ヘルナンデスは、その闘志あふれるプレースタイルと、勝負強さでチームに勢いを与えてくれる存在だ。彼のような選手がいることで、ドジャースは単なるスター軍団ではなく、真の勝てるチームとしてのまとまりを持つことができる。そして何より大谷選手の存在感は圧倒的だ。彼の加入により チームの戦力は飛躍的に向上しただけでなく、選手一人一人の意識もより高まっているのが伝わってくる。彼のひたむきな練習態度や周囲への気配り、そしてファンを大切にする姿勢は、まさにドジャースの文化と完全に調和している。大谷選手はワールドシリーズ連覇を狙いたいと明言しており、すでに次の大きな目標に向かって準備を進めている。ドジャースファンの皆さん、シーズンが始まるのが待ちきれない。2025年シーズン、大谷選手のバットが火を吹く瞬間、佐々木投手がメジャー初勝利を挙げる瞬間、そしてチーム全体が一つになって戦う瞬間を一緒に応援しよう。この動画を楽しんでいただけたら、ぜひいいねボタンを押してチャンネル登録もお願いします。あなたの応援がドジャースのエネルギーになる。次回の動画もお楽しみに。